Hello everyone, this is Venom, and we are back for another Destiny 2 discussion. I am back again with Hex. Hex, of course, is the man with the longest breath hold in a porno right now, so he has got the record for that. Welcome back, Hex.
Hey, how's it going?
Those underwater scenes, man. Alright, so, we just had the Into the Light Livestream 2 drop today. Today was all about a little bit armor, but 99% weapons and a new social space. Let's see your thoughts, Hex.
So far, so good with that. Like, really impressed with the selection of weapons. Except one, we will get to that at some point. But most of them are pretty good, and really do I do agree with they really do exemplify, like, the greatest hits of Destiny 2, in my opinion.
I agree, except for the omission of one weapon. Now, personally, it's not one that and keep in mind, I am a hunter main, but I did not like hand cannons until recently. I know that's that cardinal sin, but I've always been a scout rifle main. But the one weapon I thought would be in here that was not, I'm going to go ahead and list up the weapons they showed, and then you might be able to guess which weapons are missing. So,
all right, I have a full list, so I can kind of correct if needed.
All right, so we got the Recluses coming back. We've got another Hung Jury roll. And I would say the Recluse is a SMG, the Hung Jury is a Scout.
And that's the controversial one?
Yeah, a little bit. It definitely is one that when you think Destiny weapons, Hung Jury is definitely a favorite, so I'll give it that one. I'm not sure it necessarily needed to be brought back when it just got back again, but regardless.
For the fourth time.
Yeah, that is definitely an iffy one, but the falling guillotine sword, falling guillotine, that's not one I expected to see on it, but I suppose it is one. It is a bit iconic before Beyond Light came out. That was definitely one for season of Arrivals, I think. That was a really good one, and to this day, it's still pretty good, so I can see that one. We've got the Hammerhead machine gun. It was definitely one of the fan-favorite machine guns ever for the Black Armory. The Blast Furnace auto rifle, another favorite. The one I thought was Pulse Rifle. The Blast Furnace was a Pulse. No, I'm thinking. I thought the
ringing nail. You're thinking of ringing nail.
Ringing nail. Okay, sorry about that. That's my fault.
No problem.
Let me write down Pulsar. And I'm not a huge Pulse Rifle fan either. That's why I don't necessarily know all the pulses either. So Pulse is probably my least favorite weapon ever. Like, I rarely ever use one. So the Blast Furnace Pulse Rifle. The one I thought was weird was the Succession Sniper. To me, I never thought that was one that was iconic for anything, but I've also not been a PvP person. Maybe it was a PvP iconic, I don't know. But definitely wasn't one that did it for me. What about you?
I could definitely see a PvP potential, PvE potential for it because before Vorpal weapon got nerfed, Reconstruction Vorpal was a very popular perk for Deepstone Crypt, so I guess from that perspective, I can totally see why Succession is such a big thing. I don't know much about the PvP side of Succession. Maybe it's really popular for PvP, so in that case, but
yeah, not a PvP
I guess
player here.
Yeah, but for PvE, I could totally see a Reconstruction and some sort of bonus damage perk that they had, like Vorpal before it got nerfed for special weapons. Like that, I can totally see that being like the big name, but being the only sniper rifle representative, really, you could have gone for, well.
There are others I would have gone for snipers, but probably there's one weapon I probably would have traded the Succession out for, and I'll get to that at the end of the list. But that's one that to me just definitely didn't belong. But that's just me. The Midnight Cube hand cannon I know is a very popular one. Luna's Howl.
That's definitely going to be the
Luna's Howl, which got gutted and turned into a 140, which it was a 180 precision frame. Now it's a 140. That one hurts.
I mean, that 140 that 140 nerf in quotations has been around since forever. If you were to go into your collections and pull out a Luna's Howl, if you have one,
Yeah.
it's probably still going to be 140 anyway. So
still hurts to see it. I thought they might bring it back or something, but nope. We got no longer called the Stranger's Rifle. We got Elsie's Rifle. That is a cool lore tidbit. The Stranger's Rifle, which you got in Destiny 1, is now upgraded or now been updated to be called Elsie's Rifle. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's a nice wink and nod that hey, it's the same gun that's been passing around through multiple hands. If you read lore lore tabs, that thing has been around the block.
Yep.
It's literally been backwards and forwards in time multiple iterations. So Elsie's rifle is just another page in that gun's book.
Let's see. We have the Forbearance Wave Ray Grenade Launcher. That's a very, very popular one, so I definitely agree with that one myself.
Yeah, I do agree with it's a small side tangent before you continue lifting off the weapons. I do kind of agree with the reasoning why Succession is here and why Forbearance is here. It's a free activity, free to all players, and unless you have those particular expansions that those particular raid weapons belong to Succession, to Deepstone, which belongs to the to Beyond Light, and Forbearance from Vow of the Disciple from the Witch Queen expansion, unless you buy those expansions to gain access to those raids, you can't get them at all.
Yep.
So making them accessible to all players, regardless of whether you own it or not, is somewhat a bit of a little throwing a bone to free to play players.
Yeah. So I definitely understand that one. Next up, we've got the Edge Transit Grenade Launcher, or Heavy Grenade Launcher.
The meme lord himself.
Yeah. And then finally, number 12 is the Mountaintop. The Mountaintop, actually in the back right now. Mountaintop is coming back in all its glory. And it even comes with the auto-loading on it too, so that's going to be nice. Now,
and it can't one-shot people in the Crucible, and that's for the better.
Yeah. Depends on if you like doing that to people or not. A nerf, you can like it, you can hate it. It's really up to you. I don't know if it's going to do as much PvE damage. I know it's not going to one-shot Guardians. I don't know about combatants or not, but we can get to that one in a little bit because they got a nice little perk on it to let you jump now. But there's one weapon I hear I was definitely thinking that was going to be on the list that's not. And that's one that when I hear Black Army, when I hear people talking about favorite Black Army weapons, there's one Black Army weapon that kind of stands out about over the rest of them. I'm surprised it's not on the list. Kindled Orchard's not on here.
Well, they pretty much, according to the Bungie developer that was in there, Chris Proctor, who's the main guy behind the current goings-on with anything sandbox related for Destiny, if it were to keep going with an internal list combined with other outside sources of lists of weapons that should be brought back, it would have been half of the weapons would have been hand cannons altogether and nothing else.
Yeah.
So they had to restrain themselves to just two. And honestly speaking, Midnight Coup and Luna's Howl are like the really big ones for not for Crucible. I mean for Destiny iconic Destiny weaponry, especially since they already brought back they've already brought back the Palindrome before for Strike playlists, but that's about it.
See, for me, it would have been
what
Luna's
else?
Howl, and it would have been the Kindled Orchard. I'm not as attached to the Midnight Coup as everybody else is, but that's just me. I just happen to like I like Kindled Orchard a lot better than Midnight Coup. That's the personal one. Luna's Howl, I definitely think deserves to be on that list. But that is the list of weapons that are currently coming out. Now, there are a few cool things that are going to be happening with these weapons, besides the fact they can be randomly rolled. In the background right now, you can see the death stream going on. I know you can't see that, but everybody else, you can see the death stream going on. This is going to be very similar to the 30th anniversary event, where you're going to be able to unlock different armors for everybody. You're going to be doing the event, which is, of course, the defense event, where you can do up to 50 waves. There's going to be legendary mode. You can basically earn the weapons and the currency, because, of course, you're getting a new currency. To unlock your different chests, you're going to be getting weapon drops while you're doing it. And on top of that, up leading until Final Shape comes out, we're going to have a chance to not only earn these weapons, but you're going to have a chance to essentially pull a gold version of that weapon. Kind of like pulling cards that are like Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering. You're going to have a chance to get a drop that's essentially a ultra rare drop that's going to be a collector's edition drop, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, as far as they already pretty much said that these are not going to be stronger than the rest of them, it's just going to be a very, very special, essentially a shader is going to be on there. It's going to be an ornament that's on there. Past that, there's nothing else special about it except for the fact that it's a collector's edition. Besides
the shiny port, the shiny bit of it, the fact that that's literally gold plated.
Yep.
It's also, when you do Onslaught and you get a shiny version of, let's say, Mountaintop, there's a high probability that Mountaintop will have double perks on the columns.
Now, did they say that affected the double? That's right. I think they did say that they're all gonna roll double perks on too for the special edition ones.
What they call limited edition ornaments. That's what they're calling it. If any weapon that you get naturally, aka that you pop a chest and out comes out Mountaintop, Luna's Hollow, etc. Those ones, if they have the little shiny bit on it, the ornament on it, that's pretty much a guaranteed telltale sign that this is going to be a double perk weapon. Yeah. Now, you could get a regular Luna's Howl that doesn't have that particular shine to it, and it will still get double perks, but when you get the shiny bit, the shiny ornament is a naturally you can kind of like instantly say, sweet, there's a good chance that this thing has the 2 perks I need. Has a higher chance of getting the perks I need.
Yep, so there is a bit of an upside to getting those besides the collector's edition. On top of that, we're going to be getting new armor sets, which we just saw the Hunter armor set. Personally, I wasn't too enthusiastic about the armor set. It looked like it was doing too much and not enough at the same time. I don't know how to put it. Like, it looked very weird. And we're also getting the all black shader coming back. So that's going to be, looks like the final unlock.
Super black.
Super black is coming back, folks. We're going to have to max out 2 vendors to get it. But Super Black is coming back. I got it showing in the background right now, the Hunter. So here is what that Hunter's armor looks like without it. And then here, where did I leave off at? To bring back. There we go. And here's what it looks like with it. So, yeah, Super Black is coming back finally. Part of me wonders if that means we might be actually near the end of the Destiny 2 since they finally released this thing. I always say when they really come out with a really cool shader, that means it's probably the end of the game, but I might be just thinking too much into it. But yeah, that shader's coming back, so it's going to be really cool to use this for some builds.
Speaking of overthinking stuff, the fact that remains that in order that apparently for some reason, Shaxx has the black heart of the Black Garden trapped behind a wall of glass, and that is somehow the reason why Super Black exists.
Yep, I got up on screen now.
We have the.
Yeah, right there.
The heart of the Black Garden is the reason why Super Black exists. This is somehow canon now, and that just makes the shader even more edgier and try-hardy than it should have been.
No, not going to stop me though, because I still love the shader, so I'm going to love it. Up on screen now, I've got some weapon and I'm just kind of listing out stuff as it pops up on screen too. I've got the stream in the background.
No problem.
I got the R-Site 9940 up right now, so it shows there are going to be some weapon quests. You can actually do these quests to unlock these specific weapons. Looks like what they're showing right now. It says 2, 3, 4, or it actually says 2, 3, 4, and 6 on here. So I gotta imagine that they have one for probably every weapon, but it's only showing 4 right now.
I'm just going to assume that it's 4 per week, and they mentioned on the stream that once you complete these quests, these weekly quests, the one that you get from the reward you get for it is a limited edition ornament version of those weapons. So with the shiny version, the gold plated one, with but instead of having double perks, it will have a curated role. For example, let's say you do the Recluse one. It will probably drop with the original perk set of the original Recluse, which is Feeding Frenzy, Master of Arms.
Here's a dumb question. Have curated roles even been a thing for a while? I can't remember the last time I got a curated role outside of like the seasonal weapons that they give us. Have random drops been curated in a while?
No, not at all. I think Season of Arrivals was the last curated role era of weapons.
I hadn't even really thought about that.
Just before sunsetting.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that.
Outside of seasonal, like the ritual weapons, like I don't know.
Not the new one for this week. I don't remember because most of them had been worth too much.
Oh, the sword. I remember. It's a wave. It's not a spin to win. It's a disc throwing sword. That's void.
That's right. A void arc caster or a void caster, I guess. Okay, that makes some sense.
Caster sword. There you go.
Yeah. Next thing on there is the mountaintop. It's got a special perk on it to appear fit. Can't even talk now. The mountaintop is getting an ability that lets you basically grenade jump on us, so that's going to be a pretty fun one. Probably a bit more fun if Stranded wasn't a thing, but rocket jumping will be a thing. You won't kill yourself with it. They demonstrated it. And go ahead.
The speedrunning strats are going to be stupid now with an eager edge sword, strand, and rocket jumping mountaintop. You're going to do there's going to be the speedrunners are going to be fed tonight with this thing.
Yep. Also, along with that, we are also getting a new perk now. They did show off the perk. It took me a little bit to find it, but they did show it off. The new perk is going to be called Indomitable. And I'm wondering if this is going to stack. I definitely got to see what some of these weapons roll with. Indomitable, basically, if you're using a light subclass, kills with that weapon will give you grenade energy. If you're using a darkness subclass, kills are going to give you melee energy. So that's pretty cool. Excuse me. Oh, damn it. That's pretty damn cool. Yeah. So, it is going to be limited to whether you're light or dark. So you're not going to be getting your shaker grenade back using one of these without something like Demolitionist. But this is going to be cool, and I do wonder if it's going to stack with stuff like Demolitionist, or if Demolitionist is even going to roll on any of these weapons.
I don't know. Maybe with some of them, we'll probably run with those. But I can definitely see them combining that particular... They mentioned also on stream that Indomitability, which is the origin trait on these weapons. I guess that's why it's a little bit more justifiable for a different succession and forbearance, because those ones have different origin traits, the raid ones, compared to Indomitability. Anyway, back to the origin trait itself. It will pair nicely with, I think, the new perk that they're calling. Right now, it's internally it's going to be called Last Stand, but at release, it's going to be called something else. And that particular perk is kind of like a Golden Tricorn in a sense, where doing kills with the weapon will give you a small damage buff. But if you do a grenade kill or a melee kill, you get the bonus, a higher bonus, but that can stack multiple times.
Yep.
But they haven't mentioned how many times or how much is the bonus damage. But that per damage perk combined with the origin trait Indomitability, we can definitely see like you using a Strand Titan, you start meleeing dudes, building up Banner of War, you switch to the weapon to keep Banner of War going, and you slowly build up your melee attacks again because you're on a Darkness subclass.
Oh, I'm thinking Solar Titan getting hammer bot kills, depending on how many times I could stack up, those hammer kills would be easy to get. So there's
But
no
that's a light subclass, so you be getting your
grenade
grenades
energy.
back.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah, you see where I'm going with that?
Ash and Wake, Ash and Wake,
Mhm.
Ash and Wake, Ash and Wake sunspots with one of these weapons. Ooh,
Well, even just Last
With-
Stand.
with-
I mean, if Last
with
Stand also goes off of
Luna's
melee
Howl,
energies.
Luna's Howl with Incandescent, with Indomitably Active, Sunspot, Ash and Wake. You're playing dodgeball with enemies. It's glorious.
Yeah, so we got some potentially some crazy perk combos. It also makes me wonder about something like Recluse. I mean, we've had stuff like what I can't even think of what the thing is now because I'm so excited about Recluse. It's the damn SMG we've been using for forever, the Void SMG, the really good one that everyone
Funnel Web.
Funnel Web. I mean, imagine if it's got the same perks. Or matter of fact, Funnel Web's big thing is that it's missing a few perks. Like I think there's some that it just can't get, which is unfortunate. I think it can't get Demolitionist on it. I had to double check again. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up right now just so I can double check here. I think there were quite a few perks on Funnel Web that I wanted to exist and that just don't.
Oh yeah, most definitely they're going to put Repulsor Brace destabilizing on Recluse. Most definitely.
That will be nasty in PvE. That's going to be crazy, and I want it so bad it's not even funny. That's the biggest downside.
Since,
yeah, here we go. Here's Funnel Web right now. Yeah, no demolitionist on it. It's got Focus Fury, Frenzy, Adrenaline, Elemental Capacitor, Rangefinder, and Thresh. And then in 3, it's got Pulse Monitor, Killing Wind, Auto Loading, Subsistence, Steady Hands, and Perpetual. And I think my God roll I got right now has got a Subsistence and Frenzy on it. So that's the best roll I've been able to get. Imagine, like you just said, if it's got something like either Demolitionist or Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing Rounds. That will be
they're gonna have to they're gonna have to go all out. So I'm pretty sure destabilizing Repulsor Brace on that thing with a mountaintop, with Vorpal Weapon and a Hammerhead with a similar roll. That's it. There's your what's an exotic?
Yeah, no kidding. And keep in mind, Master of Arms is still a part. Like, I don't think they showed what Master of Arms did on here. I got to go back and watch again. Near the end, I kind of started getting. They got a little bit more. They weren't really showing as much. I didn't see what Master of Arms perk currently did. Did you?
I didn't really. I did notice the damage bump, but it really wasn't that big. I'm going to assume, this is just me speaking, but it's probably going to be a 20% increase because they don't want it to be like overshadowing stuff like a Rampage ×3 or even a Kill Clip, which is 25%.
Or they're Indomitable or their Last Stand either. Like if it does more than Last Stand, or if it doesn't do Last Stand, that'd be an issue because you would just use Last Stand instead of it.
I'm going to assume that that Last Stand, when you fully spun up with ability kills, is going to be a 30% damage increase because they said that it's slightly that Last Stand fully stacked up isn't going to beat a fully stacked Golden Tricorn, but what it will do is outlast Golden Tricorn. So
pretty good.
It's not going to be it's not going to be as big as like something like Bait and Switch and Golden Tricorn fully spun up, because those two in particular are big damage boosts, like 35% each if you spun both of them up as high as it can go. So I think 30% for Last Stand, at least what we're calling Last Stand right now, we'll call it whatever it is at the release. And then there's then after that is your Rampage, your Kill Clip, and then probably Master of Arms is down there, because Master of Arms can be kept almost indefinitely as long as you keep killing stuff.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy one to activate too. So I can't imagine it's going to be super powerful, but even if it's 20%, that's still pretty damn good for something as easy.
Yeah, because anything lower than that is probably going to be Frenzy at 15.
Yep. Now,
so probably going to be 20. It's like 20, maybe even 25%, but it's going to be with the caveat that you need to keep killing.
Now,
so probably it might actually beat Rampage, because you don't have to spin it up ×3 to get to the same spot.
Yep. Now, something to keep in mind too, we hadn't even talked about that, but all these perks are going to be enhanceable when Final Shape comes out, but none of these weapons are going to be craftable. They made a really good point to say that. So this kind of goes to what we talked about last time, how they mentioned a bunch of different weapons to kind of keep an eye on. I'm assuming those weapons, along with these, are all going to be able to have their perks enhanced. We still don't know how, but they said when Final Shape comes out, these will be enhanceable, but not craftable. So anybody who thought they'd be able to craft their own weapons, you're not going to be able to. At least not as of right now. You're gonna excuse me. You're gonna have to go through and actually farm out these weapons. You have to farm out the roles that you want.
And good news is that they actually made the activity even more enticing, because each and every single time that you have to stop defending the gimmick that you need to defend, every time that you stop doing that to do like beat a boss or whatever, when that boss is defeated, and just before you get teleported back to defending I think they're calling it the ADU, a chest will pop up, and that chest will always be a weapon chest. So
like every 5 or 10 rounds or so. I think it's like every 5 rounds or so.
Yeah, it's every 5 rounds you stop doing that to beat up a boss, or do a very light mechanic, something to keep you on your toes. So I wouldn't be surprised that they're gonna try and inundate you with drops. So at some point between now and the Final Shape, we will be getting the roles that we want to be enhanced during the Final Shape.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be going for the Luna's Howl. Luna's Howl Hung Jury, just because, I mean, I'm still a Scout Rifle main. I got to. I'm going to be getting that. And then Mountaintop, definitely. I didn't get to play around during the heyday of the Mountaintop days, and I always wanted to, so Mountaintop, Luna's Howl, and Hung Jury are the 3 that I'm definitely looking forward to getting.
The only thing that was holding Mountaintop back in the day was the fact that there's not much to it. I'm looking it up right now on my screen, and it's got spike nades, got rangefinder, and micro missile as a perk, not as an intrinsic trait of the weapon. Which is what they did. They changed it from a lightweight breech loaded grenade launcher into a brand new micro missile frame grenade launcher, which means I think what we mentioned in the leaks discussion last time, that they're trying to put micro missile as a weapon frame so that they can eventually start making new weapons, maybe craftable weapons with micro missile already built in. So maybe you don't get the roll for Mountaintop that you want. That's fine. The next time Bungie introduces a new grenade launcher that has micro missile frame, that could be craftable. So you have options.
Yeah, we can have some. I mean, they can make just straight up weapons that shoot out tons of missiles. Like imagine the missiles that shoot out of the perk right now, the micro missile perk. Imagine that just as a regular ass weapon. That'd be pretty cool. But
I'm pretty sure that's the idea at some point, that we're gonna get a fully craftable, maybe even the raid grenade launcher will be a micro missile grenade launcher.
Now, along with the weapons, we're going to be getting a new social space called the Hall of Champions. It's basically a lot of statues of Shacks that do a lot of different stuff. So someone let Shacks decorate in there. Ended up terrible, but we're going to be able to use those statues to actually focus different weapons. And as we're doing the activity, we're having a higher chance to get that weapon to drop. Now, I don't know what the chance is. It could be, an extra 5-10% chance. It could be a 50% chance. They didn't say. They just said that we can focus the weapon. So until we get in and get to test it, or until Bungie actually tells us what the extra percentage is, we really don't know. But we should have some way to kind of help focus what weapons we want to get.
Yeah. They're calling it attunement. That you get it at certain ranks of upgrading Shax's reputation. So at some point, you will be able to unlock each of the different Shax's holograms that's holding the weapon itself. You pull up next to it. You press the square. You press your interact button. The Shax hologram will tip his fictional hat at you, and that will be the sign that says that from this point forward, every time that you open up a chest during your onslaught runs, there's a higher chance of it being the Recluse, Mountaintop, Blast Furnace, etc., etc.
Whatever you decided to focus on. Next up, they are bringing back the Gift of the Thunder Gods. For those who don't know,
Yep.
it was a gift of when did that come out? They came out with Witch Queen, didn't it?
Witch Queen Season 3, Season of the Plunder.
Yeah, so essentially it was a chest that all players could get that just gave you a bunch of at-level gear along with the Thunderlord to catch you up to the light cap, not the pinnacle cap, just the powerful cap. Yeah, so I think it's like 1800 is what it is. So basically going to be a free
right
powerful
now
cap for everybody.
Yeah, if you're a new player that is thinking of coming into Destiny, or you're an old player that has kind of like fell off and now you're trying to get back in, the Gift of the Thunder Gods is a really good way to kickstart your journey into Destiny.
Yeah, which I got definite thoughts on, but I've also played a lot of MMOs, so I got some thoughts on that one. I don't necessarily agree with giving people right up to the power cap, but we can talk about that.
It's the powerful cap. It's not the pinnacle. So
regardless,
they still need to grind for.
I mean, I get that, but we can say that for anything. Like I'd say, if I'm playing Final Fantasy 14, we got a new expansion coming out this summer. Right now, the level cap is 90. You could very easily say, hey, all you new players can come in and immediately get to level 90, but it's not quite the same because that game also doesn't have its story missing. So it'd probably be a different, case if we didn't have, the Red War and everything where it was gone. I mean, all that was still here. I would say definitely if you were getting into the game, you need to go through and play all that before you even think about getting to where we're at now. But it's not in the game, so it's probably a bit more permissible than if it wasn't. If it was if we had all that old content back, I'd definitely say you need to go back and play the campaigns and get your power level up. But we don't have that, so I get it. It all leads back to that sunsetting, and I'm just going to go into a tangent again with sunsetting, so I'm not going to go too far into it. I will mention this, though. We're getting another 100 vault slots when Final Shape comes out. So, I'm sorry, did this say Final Shape? No, it said Final Shape and not Diablo update. So Final Shape is another 100.
During Final Shape, along with the weapons that we're going to get that can be enhanceable in the Final Shape, we're also getting 100 vault slots in addition. So we have 600 at this point. We will be getting up to 700.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
In this. Yep, I guess. Let's see how much. It's going to take at least 3 days before someone complains that we need more vault space. Day 3 of the Final Shape is going to be when someone's going to post something on Reddit saying we need more vault space.
Yeah, probably me. I had to go through and clear out a bunch of space now. I'm back down under 500 right now. As soon as I saw them say vault space, I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably go and check my vault. I had like 530, and I just started clearing out weapons. So at one point, I was just only keeping weapons that were crafted, and I would never let them go, and I would start getting rid of other stuff. I'm at the point now to where even if I've crafted a weapon, if I've never used it, I'll just start getting rid of them. Like, if I'm never using it, I've never used it, and don't plan on it, I'm just getting rid of them. Like, a lot of the Witch Queen weapons, like a lot of the season of the Witch Queen, that first season, I can't tell you what any of those weapons are. I've never used them. I think there's like maybe one. Like, the raid weapons, yeah, I use them all the time, but the actual ones from that season, they look like crap, and most of them don't have any good perks. It's the ones that have Psycho Hack on them. I think I did a video with Psycho Hack with Don and Chalubi, but...
I still have 2 of the crafted weapons from back then, mostly because we're missing these particular. I'm missing these as part of the rotation of weapons. Mostly just not because I actually love them or anything. I have the Likely Suspect fusion rifle and the Father's Sin sniper rifle. I'm pretty sure I need to get rid of that because I don't really use it. The fusion rifle is fine. Until the Bungie makes Bungie makes a craftable or at least an earnable Aerentil, I'm probably gonna. Well, that isn't just Glacioclasm. Oh yeah, I'm the Glacioclasm guy. So.
For sure. What else was there? Really, that was about it. I mean, the armor, like I said, nothing special. We're getting a super good shader. The vault slots, the weapons. What else do you got?
When you do onslaught, where you complete, you get reputation for shacks, obviously, but you also get currency, and you can use that currency in the Hall of Champions to either get more rolls of the guns or to spend it to try and get the armor pieces themselves.
Yeah, I think Star Horse. It's basically the Star Horse event. Or the
basically, yeah, it really is, for lack of a better word,
it's theirs.
30th anniversary, but
yeah,
it's theirs, but for three players instead of 6.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to take place at different Crucible maps instead of the 9 realms.
Yeah, so and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing either. Saying Dares of Eternity. I mean, Dares was pretty fun, and it was pretty popular when it came out.
It still is. It basically, if you want to get not seasonal stuff that's not available right now, you can do Dares. Like they kind of rotate. They rotate literally everything there. If you want something from a previous season that's not Sunset, you can probably find it by grinding Dares of Eternity.
Yeah.
Plus, you can get the craftable stuff from Dares of Eternity as well, like the battle rifle from Halo.
Yeah, that is a good battle. I love that thing.
Yeah, it's still my favorite weapon so far.
So past that, like I said, this week was all about weapons and a bit of armor. Next week, so they gave us some hints as to what next week is going to be. I was kind of wondering. They said, and they dropped hints near the industry, and they said exotic mission content, craftable weapons. They would go over the 3 PvP maps, and then they said there may be some other extra surprises, which there probably will be, but I don't know if they're actually going to be anything worth mentioning or not. We'll see. I mean, it was something really big. It could be something huge. It could be nothing at all. They might be saving the big thing for the end. So there could be some crazy big information that we don't know about that they're saving, which I wouldn't put it past them. Or it just could be, nothing. But we won't know until next week.
For the exotic, let's kind of break it down a little bit. For the exotic mission bit, I got two avenues that I'm theorizing at this point. Option A is basically Harbinger, Zero Hour, and the Whisper are coming back with their respective exotic weapons are craftable. Harbinger is Hawkmoon, 0 Hour is Outbreak Perfected, and Whisper is Whisper the Worm.
Mm-hmm.
Alternatively, if they want to go for the nostalgia factor alone, because this is the quote-unquote 10th anniversary event for Destiny, just 0 Hour and Whisper, just those two. And they're going to leave Harbinger for when the final shape hits, because along with Harbinger, they could bring in the exotic mission for Excalibur, the glaive from this expansion.
Yeah, true. See, and I agree with that first one. I think they're going to bring in all the exotic missions, or at least those 3 that you mentioned at least. I don't know. Harbinger wasn't necessarily a really popular one. I mean, Whisper was definitely popular. 0 Hour, I think, has been the most popular one. Those I can definitely see coming in. And they did mention some craftable weapons. I think it's going to be those weapons, but exotic forms, I think it's going to be those exotic weapons, just craftable now. That's what I think is about to happen.
Yeah.
So that's probably all.
Another prediction.
Go ahead.
Yeah, another prediction. They're gonna do like they did with what's the weapon? The exotic mission for Deadman. I forgot the name of. Or right now it's Vox Obscura. They're probably gonna do like this normal mode of Whisper and 0 Hour, no time limit at all. Just get in, get the weapon. However, the master version or legend version of those particular missions, it is going to be timed.
It could be. Presage is that.
So it's going to be timed. It's going to be even harder. So, and they have to make it even harder. They have to make it harder, because if they were to just bring it in as is from back in the day, a new light can probably stomp 0 Hour if they have with the Gift of the Thunder Gods, for example.
I don't agree.
Can probably spam the original Whisper, the original 0 Hour, as long as someone teaches them how the encounters go. No, they can beat them with whatever they want. So they need to bring the spirit, just as much as they brought the weapons that we love from back in the day up with new perks. They also need to ramp up the challenge. Like, we need to see people need to. I want to see people breaking their controllers when Legend Whisper comes out.
I don't know about that one. See, I don't necessarily like. People who played it before, I definitely think are going to be able to do it a lot easier now with everything that we have. Okay, I can understand that one. I don't necessarily think a new light can, even if you teach them how to do it. I mean, there's still going to be a good learning curve there. I think if a new light at our light level and the power, like if I were to give a new light my character and they were to do it now, it would probably be as hard for them as it was for all of us when it first came out. Now, for all of us, it's going to be easy. It's going to be real easy. I mean, even without the fact that we have Strand, I mean, even just using all these stuff that we had available at that time, the subclasses, with the boost that we have of those subclasses and the weapons we got now, we're going to be able to take out something like that in 0 hour pretty easily. Now, New Light, I don't think it's going to be nearly as easy for them, even with the boost. I think it's still going to be a pretty big learning curve for them. But,
yeah,
I think it'll still be, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I think it'll be good for them. I think that they're going to get that experience that we got when we first started. I think they're going to go through with the power we have now, but since they don't have the skill, it'll be just as hard for them as when we went through, and it'll be just as amazing as when we went through. They're going to have just as much challenge, and then once they get used to it, then it'll be like how we had to actually farm it every week to get our essences at that point. Then it'll become the farm that it was, but only after they've done it, a dozen times or so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. Yeah, and also I wouldn't be surprised that that they will also kind of like adjust it to avoid some of the cheese spots, if you will, especially for 0 hour and for Whisper, because those places had some cheese spots.
Well, they're going to have to do a lot of adjusting now because we got, besides Strand, I mean, even imagine going in with a Grandmaster loadout. Yeah, we got that. We got Stasis. We got Grandmaster stuff now at this point that we can probably go through and crush it with. They're going to do a lot more than just adjusting a few cheese spots. They're going to have to almost redo the entire missions in some points if they did that. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, that's why they're going to have to adjust it, especially Whisper. Literally, instead of just Whisper alone, because Whispers literally starts you inside of a lost sector. So instead of using Strand to quickly get up to the blight that allows you to drop down into the actual Whisper mission, you're gonna have to do most of the lost sector straight, especially since that lost sector is not available to play as a lost sector right now.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure that alone is you're gonna be forced to do the little like upward spiral part of the lost sector bit before the game allows you to. Okay, now you can go and shoot the blight that allows you to go into the super secret Vex section of Whisper.
Yeah, it could be. And if you're new light too, you wouldn't know where that was at to begin with anyway. So even if that's not the case, and even if you can just go right to it, you may not realize that you can just go right up into that spot and do that. You may think, hey, I got to actually go through and do this actual spiral, do the mission itself, and not realize, hey, you're actually supposed to go to this part here. So if you're a new light, yeah, like I said, I think this can be. I think the new lights are going to have the same challenge unless somebody shows them how to do it. I think they're going to have the same challenge that we had when we were first doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, those are two possibilities: either just Whisper and just 0 hour, or those two plus Harbinger, and both of them would be pretty okay to bring back. If not, they could just bring back Harbinger along with Vexcalibur for next year for final shape. But they need to rotate those things eventually.
Yeah. But that was pretty much...
Witchkeepers and Witchkeeper as well.
But that was pretty much all for the stream today. Like I said, next week we're going to be going over those points. Don't know what other secrets they may have, but I mean, this week's stream I think went a lot better. I didn't see anything. I didn't realize last time, and this is something we didn't talk about because I didn't even realize this last time. I guess there were people trolling in the comments. I guess Deb had I guess the Deb had actually shown his screen name at one point, and trolls actually went in and were sending just terrible messages. I didn't notice. Hopefully the person didn't notice till afterwards either, but Bungie went through and banned all those people that did that, so that was cool. I didn't notice any of that this time.
No, because if memory serves, I was watching the stream on Twitch. They actually took advice from other streamers and they put it into verified user only. So unless you do a two-factor identification for Twitch, you can't post anything.
Yeah, which is cool. But the stream also seemed a lot less, and I hate to say it, even what happened last time, because I don't approve of the trolling, the stream did still seem a lot cringier last time. I mean, it seemed like they tried a lot harder than they needed to last time. It just came off very stiff and cringy. It seemed a lot more fluid this time. It could also be because people were a lot more excited about the weapons this time, so that might have just helped relax the devs. I know they were definitely a bit stressed last time because people were not really feeling that, we're not feeling the activity last time. They could clearly see it in the comments. People were like, this looks boring. They were not necessarily a fan of what was to come as far as that activity goes. People were a lot more excited and happy seeing what was going to be coming with this weapons in this one than last time. I think that might have helped. And I think just people
that's the essence of. I think that's sorry. That's basically the essence of Destiny. What kind of shiny new toy can I get for doing the most boring thing out there?
Yeah, I mean, it is a looter shooter, so
it is a looter shooter.
We can have some permissible events that are somewhat boring if the loot is worth it. And vice versa. I mean, if the loot's not necessarily worth it, but the event is really awesome, okay, that could work too. Ideally, we want an awesome event with awesome loot.
To a certain degree, because as much as I love certain dungeons and whatever, I think what's the dungeon called? Shattered Throne. As much as I love Shattered Throne, the loot motivates me as a player, so getting weapons that I could have gotten doing the weekly Ascendant challenge, or running a couple of blind wells. Running Shattered Throne is not going to be the thing that get the blood pumping.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in other raids as well. So,
yeah. You gotta have that unique loot for whatever it is you're doing, because there's something else that's more fun.
Exactly.
People are going to do that instead.
Like Vault the Glass. There's no you can't. I've run it for almost 10 years at this point. I already got Vex Mythic class, and unless someone wants to help me get the catalyst, no, I'm not playing Vault the Class no more.
Yeah. There are some raids I go back and play just for fun. Like, I do King's Fall just for fun. I go through and Sherpa that one every once in a while still. I'll go through and I do Crota every once in a while. I'll do Rooted Nightmares every once in a while. I'll do Curse or Disciple every once in a while, but I won't do stuff like... There's just some I don't want to, like Garden. I won't do that unless we have to do that with somebody because of...
so someone who will not be mentioned here?
Yeah.
Whose name rhymes with DMT?
Mm-hmm. Like you said, Vault of Glass, not one I'm interested in doing now. I've got Vex, I've got the Catalyst. It's alright, but it's not one I want to just go do for fun, so then the loot's not necessarily worth it. But some of the later raids that we've gotten here, I've definitely gone through and I've done them again just because they're fun. The loot is good too, so it's bonus, but like I said, it's either, you gotta have one or the other, preferably both. The loot's either gotta be good, the activity's gotta be great, but I prefer to have both. And some of the activities are not necessarily great, so that's why I was a bit worried about this week, because people were not happy about last week's activity. The loot's making me feel a bit happier about doing that now. Yeah, it's still going to be a chore if we don't have one of the activity, but at least there'll be a payout for it. Now, it's like working a job in that case, because I'm doing something I don't necessarily want to do for a paycheck, but some of these toys look pretty dang cool. And again, I'll still say this, so doing the actual event or the actual activity may still be fun. We haven't played it. We're still speculating.
Yeah. And it's also Horde Defense. As much as people don't like it because it's not a endless activity, it'll probably be good because it will kind of force you to be on your toes. It will probably get us to actually use the full capabilities of our kit, because there's one of the main reasons why kind of the combat in Destiny feels kind of weak, or in a sense, is because we have all these abilities to crowd control, to do big damage and clear rooms, but there's not enough enemies. Mm-hmm. So putting us in a wave defense where enemies just keep... I saw it in last week's stream. Enemies were pouring out of everywhere. Enemies with big beefy health bars where you need to do everything. You have to expend everything that you got in reserves to try and get these things down.
Now,
in addition to champions.
Now and I do want to just kind of mention this too. The reason I personally was not necessarily interested in the activity or was upset by it, and they said something today in the stream that kind of gives me a little bit of hope for it. The reason I'm not necessarily excited for this activity, or at least I wasn't until now, is because I don't consider this a true horde mode. Horde mode to me means literally just you versus the enemies. This is a defense mission. You're literally defending a point. But they mentioned something in the stream that has me a bit more excited about it. And they mentioned that if whatever the thing we're defending, if it doesn't get destroyed, we get an extra chest. That tells me that it can get destroyed and we can still keep going. So that might just be like a bonus thing. Now, I don't know if it's going to end if it gets destroyed. If it doesn't, okay, then I'm a bit more excited because then I don't necessarily have to worry about it continuing to go. And the reason I don't like the defense mission is because of Warframe. And for those who don't know, Warframe, they have endless defense missions. Now, no matter how good your build is, in an endless mission, as you go up, the defense target that you're defending, its health doesn't go up. But the enemy's damage will go up. You can't get to the point to where, no matter how good your build is, you can kill enemies and, CC them like crazy. But if a single stray shot hits that defense target, and I say one shot, it'll take a couple, but you can have like the best build in the world, but if that defense target gets destroyed, it's all for nothing. You can go 100 rounds, and if you sneeze and 2 random shots hit that defense target, well, you're screwed. That I don't like at all. That's what I was worried about for this. It sounds like if it gets destroyed, we can still keep going, which is what I'm hoping, but we will see. I just happened to hear that in the stream.
I believe that's fine, and that's going to be okay in the earlier rounds, because if memory serves me right, last week they did mention that once you get to the tail end of the waves, darkness zone is going to be active, and you need to be rezzing your teammates, and you need to be and extinguish will be active at some point. So if that thing goes, you're done.
See, that's what I'm worried about. That's something I don't like. I don't like preparing to take out a bunch of enemies and then have them be able to just circumvent all my preparation by attacking this other point that, has very limited defenses that can't go up. That's something that I don't enjoy.
I mean, at least this time, as opposed to a Warframe defense, there is countermeasures. There is sweeper bot decoys, there's trip mines, there's turrets that will stay active in between the different rounds. So even if a particular point isn't active, the turrets that are still up there will still be. So you're still getting help from the turrets that you leveled up in previous areas.
Yeah.
So there is countermeasures in a sense, and also you could just split your team up. 2 people that are going out slaying, and then somebody who's basically collecting the orbs to keep the ADU, what they're calling it, the ADU, keeping it healthy, and making sure that champions stay the hell away from it. Because I'm pretty sure champions are going to be the main big problem.
Yeah, more likely. But starting to get late here. But yeah, that's pretty much everything they showed today. It was like 90% weapons, which is what I assumed it'd be. I liked what I saw. I'm a bit more optimistic about what we're getting. I'm still definitely curious about what the third live stream is going to be. Like I said, I'm with you. I think it's going to be a bunch of exotic missions, and it's going to be credible exotics, but we'll see if they got any other secrets going on.
I mean, what can they do? Let's just before we call it here. What kind of secret do you think that they can possibly do?
Release the Red War.
Red War. That's a good one.
Release the original Red War.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a slightly abridged version of not completely abridged, but at least more streamlined. It's more like you just go from mission to mission to mission to mission without really stopping on each planet.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. That is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, and maybe not exactly, unlocking Io as a planet to patrol, but just exploring the very limited real estate that you can explore because you're going from one side to the other.
Yeah.
for a particular mission. The main mission, not the adventures.
But besides that, I don't know if they've had time to do anything else. I mean, unless it's just going to be those missions we talked about. This is going to be those exotic missions and craftable exotics. Besides the event they're bringing us, I don't know if they've had time to bring us anything else substantial as an event. So unless they're re-releasing something, I don't think they're going to have anything that's really going to be really secret. I think that might just be more of, hey, we got like a small UI updates or something like that. Hey, who knows? It could be something like that, or they could have something crazy out of left field that we can't even fathom right now. Like, it could be something crazy we haven't thought about. Like Skimmers, for example, when we did the Guardian games. That's not something I ever would have thought that they would have done. So it could be something that we haven't thought about. Or it could be, nothing at all. I mean, it really is up in the air right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna be the cynical one here and say, Destiny 1 cosmetics. I don't know.
Yeah, I could definitely see that one too. I could see it being all Eververse stuff too.
Yeah, like the Iron Gallahorn, one, which they kind of hyped up a bit back in the day, or some. I would love for them to bring back older ornaments from D1 into D2. Like, that would be actually amazing.
I like the ornaments to be earnable instead of paid.
Most of them were paid for the most part back in the day.
I would like them, like, you get so many achievements, you get certain achievements with your exotic or with a certain weapon, you earn the ornament for it, or earn an ornament for it, something like that. Like, you get 10,000 kills with Gallahorn, you get an ornament. You get, 10,000 kills with your Recluse, you get an ornament. You get 10,000 kills with your Luna's Howl, you get an ornament. Stuff like that I would like a lot more than just a bunch of Eververse bullshit. Yeah,
it's either that or I kind of jinx myself, and I can see them, like what you said, mentioned that your little nightmare that in the timeline we're just gonna get the final battle against what's his face, Gaul, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or we get just those two missions: the beginning mission where you see Gaul destroy the tower, and then like maybe. And then the final battle, probably in between that, a sort of like a montage of what happens in between, and then the final battle against him.
I really hope not. I'd rather just have it all back so we can play it again. But yeah, we'll see.
And for Curse of Osiris and Warmind, if they're gonna do something with them, they're just gonna put the final battle against Panoptes and. Basically, the story version of the fight against Zol instead of the strike.
I'd like the strike should just come back. We should just get the strike back on that version. But the Panoptes one, yeah, I'd be fine with the final battle. That whole DLC sucked. The the Zur one, we definitely just need that strike back. In fact, matter of fact, we'll say that might be. Cause I think at some point there's a leak about strikes. I'll say that's going to be. That's going to be their secret. We're going to be getting some strikes back. Yeah, it could be Zur. It could be some of the other missing strikes returned to us. Maybe that could be what the surprise is.
Yeah, bring back the strikes.
Mm-hmm.
That's also, but it's probably going to be a streamlined Red War campaign, and those strikes are back.
Tell you what I'd be happy with. Give us back all those old strikes, and then Bungie, you can have your PSYOP and Battleground Heist strikes back. We don't need them. At least out of the GM pool. You can have those shits back. Give us back the old ones. You can have these new ones that you got. We don't need them in the Grandmaster pool. We don't need them in the strike pool. We're good.
Yeah, that's mainly the reason why last week I didn't participate. I'm pretty sure the GM was a PSYOP, was a Battleground, and I was like, I can wait until the Slammer comes back in rotation. I'm not playing this thing just to get a Slammer.
Oh no, it was corrupted last week.
The sword.
It was corrupted.
Ah.
Yeah, I got like 3. I got like 4 of them. I kept 2. But yeah, it was corrupted last week. I did one last night too. One final one. I think the best one I got was Attrition Orb and Bait and Switch. And I also got one that has, and it's one that'll get you killed if you try to use. Like, I can't believe this roll exists on a sword. If you actually try to use it, it's going to get you killed. But it's got freaking, why can't I think of it? The one that makes you jump, or the one that makes you zoom forward. I just had a brain fart. Eager Edge. It's got Eager Edge and Bait and Switch. Think about that.
The one that people the thing that the people have been hunting down.
Yeah,
that's the god roll that people want.
Eager Edge, bait and switch. Eager Edge is what they wanted on it, and bait and switch.
Yeah, or either that or relentless bait and switch.
I think it was relentless. For damn it, I think it is relentless bait and switch. Eager Edge and bait and switch. If you try to proc bait and switch with that, you're gonna go flying across the room and probably miss Crota whatever you're trying to hit. I mean, it could. Maybe that is a god roll. I don't know. Maybe that is a god roll, but if it is, that's not one I personally want. I'd rather have relentless strikes.
Yeah, for damage, yeah, obviously relentless bait and switch is definitely the one to go for. For just zooming really quickly, Eager Edge.
Mm-hmm.
I technically want an Eager Edge sword, so either that particular weapon, or either Slammer or the new Fallen Guillotine.
Yeah.
And I think I already got the two, the other two swords with Guillotine. Not with Guillotine. I mean Eager Edge. The Halo swords, basically. I just need one more, and it's either going to be the Slammer, or it's going to be the new version of Fallen Guillotine.
Gotcha.
The Slammer would be interesting with relentless cold steel because of how shatter works, freezing and shattering.
That'd be pretty cool.
Because cold steel is basically, if you do like two powered sword swings, the one that costs a lot more ammo, that will cause the enemy to freeze and then eventually shatter. So combining that with like some shatter with whatever but have they mentioned anything about the stasis buff, or are they just keeping that for?
They didn't mention it all, and that might be next week too, but we're at about the hour mark, so we gotta wrap this up now. But that could be the next thing too. They haven't mentioned any of the buffs at all, so that could be something else, subclass buffs as a surprise. Like I said, it could be anything at this point.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it for today, guys. Like I said, we will be back again next week for the third Into the Light livestream. We'll see how it goes. We'll see exactly what they bring to us. Like I said, today's was a lot better than last week's. I'm a lot more hyped up than I was last week. I don't know. Final thoughts on that, Hex?
Not much. I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. I don't mind any monotonous activity. I just want good loot to come from it, and then you'll get me to stay in there for hours as long as the loot is good.
All right, that's gonna do it for today, guys. We're gonna head out. Hex, thank you again for coming by. You've been great on these. We're gonna head out. Like and subscribe. Make sure you sub to the channel if you like what it is we're doing. We will see you on the next video, and we will definitely see you next week for the third and final Into the Light live stream before Into the Light actually comes out. All right, later, guys.
Later.